Hello and welcome to another video. Now if you watched my previous week's video on introducing cooking knife skills to forest school, you'll have seen that I ended up with a whole bucket full of veggies, a whole bowl full of veggies. And so today I'm just going to talk about how to prepare these, how to make foil veggie parcels. This is a really handy way to introduce more vegetables into a diet of marshmallows and popcorn, a way to cater for the vegan and vegetarian children that you have and still be able to make allowances for fussy eaters. If this sounds interesting to you, then keep watching and see you in a mo. Once you've got all of your veg chopped, then it's time to turn our attention to the fire. So we are ideally going to want a bed of embers to cook on. And so that means either building up a larger wood fire and letting it burn down, which is great if you've already got the fire going to boil water or for warmth or for any other sort of activity. That's fantastic. Going. If you're just lighting this just for this recipe, just for cooking these foil parcels, then we're going to do what I'm going to do, which is use some lumpwood charcoal. It just gives you a much more consistent heat a lot faster if you're not worried about warmth and so on. But I always like to start the old-fashioned way because I'm actually useless at using barbecues and things, because just so many years now working on regular firewood, so I like to start it old school. Proper preparation yields better results. Should have fluffed that up a bit more. There we go, that should keep it going. Get our slightly smaller stuff on top. So I'm just going to let that burn until I've got a decent flame, and then I'm going to pop the lump wood on this and then bring that up to temperature. So once you've got the fire going, now it's time to take a look at the parcels. Like I said earlier, if you do want the children or participants to chop it ahead of time, do start that early. It does take a while, particularly if you're teaching knife skills as you go. And then you want to spread it out, and then you can kind of prepare your own food parcels. But if no one's really fussy, then you can also throw it all together in one pot. If you don't want them to do the chopping themselves, you can prepare a lot of this ahead of time and just bring it in Tupperwares, supplement it with cans. So I've got a can of sweet corn. I'm just going to add in there. And then the idea is going to get a rectangular parcel of foil. So go longer if you can. Once we've got our foil, we're going to pop it shiny side up, and then we can start adding veggies. So just add a good amount. Again, we want it to be only over half, so we can fold it in. So I'm just going to go quite a smorgasbord here. Then just a little bit of oil, so either olive oil or sunflower. My recommended would be olive oil, but sunflower is nice for being neutral, and I just had a whole lot of it sitting at home that I don't use personally, so here we go. Then of course you want to have salt. A little bit of pepper is an optional extra, and then I usually just have a variety of herbs and spices available. So I've got some garlic, you can really have some fun, try different flavors. This is a chance to experiment, chance for kids to try out new ingredients. So I'm just going to go. Firstly, you can say, okay, how about you put one mushroom in there and just give it a try. It's not going to affect the taste of everything all that much if it's just the one. Avoid putting things like chili powder out because that can get out of hand really quickly. And then we're going to, once we've got all of our seasonings on and our oil, we're just going to start crimping up the edges. Now it's important that you seal these really tight, because the idea is that we're going to be steaming this rather than straight up roasting them. And the more moisture we seal in here, the less likely it is to burn. We've got tight seal all the way around the outside. Also helps avoid flare-ups from the oil dropping out. Give it a little bit of a shake just to distribute the seasonings and oil a little bit better. And then you have one parcel ready to go. Now of course you can try and get different designs to the parcel, try and get more of a Christmas cracker, more of a teepee shape, just to be able to differentiate them. But once you've opened it up, it should be pretty easy to see whose is whose. Once our fires die down to embers, or the charcoal has ashed over and is white, and that's a really good temperature to put it on there. Put our foil parcel on. If it's still quite hot, but you just need to get it cooking, then if you can put it on a rack and give it a little bit of distance, that'd be a good idea. But like I said earlier, as long as you crimp down the edges and seal it off well enough, then it should steam rather than burn. Now how long will this take to cook? Well, that depends on a lot of different factors. It depends on the volume inside your foil package, it depends on the heat of the fire, and it depends on the vegetables you used. But as a good guideline for fast cooked vegetables, so there are some vegetables that will cook relatively faster or be okay in a kind of semi-raw state. If you think of something like a carrot, even if it's a little bit crunchy, it's still perfectly edible. Now a white potato is a completely different beast. You want that cooked properly, and a white potato will generally take longer. You can probably expect 40 minutes to an hour depending on the heat of the fire. Now I use sweet potato in this mix to give us that extra boost of carbs, but also sweet potato does tend to cook a fair bit faster, so we look at half an hour. So think about the type of vegetables you'd use. If you want something that's quite fast cooking, then go for bell peppers, courgette, sweet potato, mushrooms, sweet corn. Those are really good. If you can cook it for way longer, then you can start adding in things like radishes, regular potatoes, and all sorts of other longer cooked vegetables, carrots. So work out what you will need according to your own timeline, and particularly what your participants like to eat. It's a good idea to survey people ahead of time so you can make sure that you've got something for everyone. So we're going to leave this cooking for probably about half an hour to 40 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like. If you're curious about how it's getting on or want to check the progress, it can be worth just undoing an edge, the corner, just having a little look. Got a little bit of a prod. See, that's going quite well. So it actually should be done a little bit faster than expected, so probably close on that half an hour. So what I'm going to do is just flip it over. You can see I didn't seal it quite perfectly, but everything's fine. I'll just leave that cooking for another 10-15 minutes or so. Now for the more carnivorous among us, if you did want to add some protein to these parcels, I'd suggest looking for cooked meats first, so cooked hams, salami, pastrami, that kind of stuff, and add a little bit in there. That way you don't have to worry about everything being cooked straight through. The bigger pieces, something like bits of bacon lardons, chicken, that can be a bit hit and miss. Like I say, it's steaming more than roasting, unless you open up the calf parcel near the end and just cook it straight on the embers. Most meats don't tend to cook all that well by being steamed. So if you want to, I'd suggest cooked meats, but these veggie parcels are actually quite filling on their own. And here we go. Half an hour later, let's open it up and see how we've done. That all looks pretty good. Now in this packet, I know that the carrots are going to be our trickiest, so I'm just going to give them a little prod with a fork. Sweet potatoes, beautifully soft. And that all looks well cooked. That's ready to go. Add a bit more salt if you need it, and that can be used in accompaniment for any sorts of things. So this is a great little meal, even if you are going out camping, whatever. Simple, just pop everything in a foil parcel, pop it on the embers for a while, and you're all good to go. Well, I hope you found this useful and a little bit inspirational, and I encourage you to go out and try some more, add some more savoury cooking options to your repertoire, particularly if you're cooking for a lot of vegans and vegetarians. So before we go, I just want to say a big thank you to Wellness Woodlands. Without their beautiful location here, we wouldn't have a peaceful place. Saying that, you could hear the gunshots in the distance. Peaceful area to relax and film these videos. So thank you to them. If you're looking for a getaway in the Shropshire, Bewdley, Wire Forest area, then do check out Wellness Woodlands. Again, link in the description below. That, say thank you so much for watching, listening. If you've got any suggestions for activities you'd like to see, or if you'd like to check out my activity guide, all the links are down below. Send me an email at info@brackenoutdoors.com. Remember to make the most of every day, and I'll see you all next time.